Hi guys, it's Team Obhrai here, and we are once again going in depth with Deepak.
Thank you, Priti.
Hello? You're not gonna say hello? You're not
Hello.
gonna say hello? You,
Yes,
you, you can
yes,
say hello in
yes,
many
yes.
languages.
I
Why are you
am.
not saying hello now?
Hello, hello, everyone. Bonjour, madam. Hello, everyone. Namaste, everybody.
What? That's it? I thought you boasted a lot and you said that
All
you
right,
could
all
speak a
right.
lot. You could say hello.
Okay, Jambo, and Kemcho, good evening, and in French, bonjour.
Okay. Um, we are here and we're doing this new segment, and it's a chance to get to ask Deepak questions. And I'm going to start off with this segment by addressing everybody's concern. Like everyone else, I'm a Canadian. I'm a mother. I am. You hear all the stories that's happening, and so what I would really like to know, Mr. Deepak or Dad, how are we? How do you guys keep? How does the government keep us safe from terrorism? How will you, in particular, keep us safe from terrorism?
Thank you, Priti. A very good question, considering the fact that today terrorism is right in the forefront of Canadians' minds. There are two answers to your question. The first one, of course, is international, and the second one is domestic. Let's talk about international. Terrorism came to this country in September 11th, attacks of the Twin Towers in USA. That brought terrorism to our continent. After that attack, we, with the Foreign Affairs Committee, went out over the world to figure out why and why did this thing happen. And we found out the best way answer from the Foreign Affairs Committee was to be engaged with the Muslim community, to be engaged to ensure that they were part of the Canadian solution and not a problem. And that is what has happened. But before I come to that, as I said, we have a porous border with USA. USA was very much concerned. Reference to that our border become a very porous border.
What does porous mean?
Porous means that there are not strict, we have the largest undefended border in the world. There are multiple entries. You can go in, you can walk right through each other's borders, and we would like to keep it that way. And so the Americans brought their concern to us together with the Americans and our other allies around the world. When we recognized terrorism was a threat, we introduced a very robust security system. What it basically means is that every immigrant that comes into this country, after he has initially been screened by the immigration officers, the file goes to CSIS, security agencies. They have to do their due diligence in working with other allies to see that individuals coming into this country are not harming Canada or Canadians. And because of that, CSIS undergoes a thorough review of every immigrant that comes in. Once that review has been done, CSIS gives its approval, and then that file returns back to the immigration, and then the process carries on further. And the immigration officers then look out to see if an immigrant is lying or something before he's rejected or allowed to come into the country. Henceforth, we have a very strong security. It is therefore wrong to give this power to somebody else when the security services are doing an excellent job. And let me remind everyone, we have not yet, and touch wood, had any incidences from outside the country into our country. The second aspect is domestic terrorism. Domestic terrorism in the day age of internet is homegrown terrorism. In my writing, have had people come to me and tell me about how homegrown terrorism is working. After we had come back from our review around the world from the Foreign Affairs Committee, our security forces started working with the Muslim community in Canada. It is the Muslim community that is the forefront of making us safe. They have told us, and they continue working with CSIS to say where there is homegrown terrorism, who's getting radicalization, so we can very quickly move in and stop that from happening. And that has been a success. Yes, there are always people trying. But if you will look at our success, our security forces have done an excellent job, including our CMP, in making sure that Canadians are safe. So I want to assure you that both of these ways ensure we Canadians are safe. And, let me tell you this much, that our security services have become so efficient that I just came back when I was in Indonesia, where they have a school to train other forces around the world to fight terrorism. Who is working there? Canadian and Australian police officers training others to fight terrorism. So I want to assure most Canadians that currently the systems that are in place are making sure that we are safe. Okay, but one area that we must ensure that our security services and our police forces have adequate resources. We cannot, for the sake of our own security, reduce or in any way curtail their activities to make us safe. Therefore, one of the key elements in my government would be to provide adequate resources to the border security forces as well as RCMP. Border security forces must also ensure our borders are safe. They are not tax collectors. Okay? That job should be a secondary job. Primary job should be to ensure our borders are safe. Therefore, I want to assure you and to all Canadians, that the current systems are there, and we will continue improving the current system. When you try to put this blame and you change the focus on immigrants coming in, it is wrong. It is a misplaced priority out there, because can you edit that?
Nope. Keep going.
All right. So, as I was saying, that the country remains safe. The country will, if there is what we foresee to be some shortages, we will definitely work towards that. But I want to make one thing very clear. This pointing fingers at immigrants by saying Canadian values and something is not the issue. Right? Most Canadians come into this country because they like our identity. And what is our identity? Our identity is freedom, compassion, to be diverse. These make us as a Canadian. And as a Canadian, we cannot dilute our values if few people want to harm us and change that. That is not, the issue. For time after time, over the period of time, we have had immigrants come into this country who have built this country. Therefore, it is important to have a good immigration policy, but it is important to ensure Canadians are safe, and that is why we talk about international and